Hi there everyone, my name is Melissa Prophet and I am the Education and Communication Specialist for the Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District, and I hope that you are excited to take a journey with me today. Our journey today is adapted from a lesson called Miranda the Fish that was published in the 1990s in the Environmental Teaching Guide, Volume 2. Our adaptation, however, is going to follow my friend Miranda the Fish. Here's Miranda. Can you guys wave hi to Miranda? Now, to take this journey with Miranda, we're going to have to use our imaginations to tell a story. And the first thing I want you to imagine is that this fishbowl here is actually a river. So we're going to place Miranda into her home, the river, where many different types of fish live. Now, our river here is a freshwater river. So there's two types of water, right? Salt water that we find in the ocean and fresh water like in our local streams and rivers. Now, as we look at the river Miranda is swimming in now, does it look nice and clean and clear? I think it does. But as we travel on her journey, we're going to learn what types of pollution can enter Miranda's home and what effects that has on Miranda and other animals living in the river with her. Now, our journey is going to begin right here on a bridge. Now, you'll see the river running underneath the bridge, and as cars drive along this road here, well, let's imagine that it's nearing the end of winter time, and sometimes a little bit of ice can still form on the roads. Do you guys know what we put on the roads so that they don't freeze and it makes it safer for us to drive? That's right, salt. So as cars are zooming by on this bridge, they knock a little bit of salt into Miranda's water. Now remember, Miranda lives in fresh water, not salt water, and the salt we put on our roads is not the same kind of salt we would find in the ocean anyways. So as Miranda is swimming in this water, that salt can actually harm her scales, which are what the body covering of fish are called. So do you think Miranda wants to swim in this salty water? I don't think so either. So she's going to continue swimming downstream. Now, as Miranda continues swimming, she swims by a park that has lots of picnic tables. Have you ever had a picnic at the park? Well, on this day, there were people at the park and they did not do what they should have with their trash because they left litter all over. And when the wind blew, whoop, it blew all of this litter into the nearby river where Miranda was swimming. So as we add these different types of litter, if we think about the different plastics or metals or other things that can be in the water, they can harm Miranda the fish and other animals, either physically or even by making them sick if they eat that litter. So as Miranda's swimming around in this water full of litter now, well, she's going to continue swimming downriver to look for a little bit cleaner water. So as her journey continues, she swims by a parking lot. And on this parking lot are cars parked. And you might notice this rainbow sheen on the pavement here. Do you know what causes that? That's right, oil. Oil can leak out of these cars onto the pavement. Now, what happens is that when it rains, all of this oil can be washed down this storm drain. Did you guys see the storm drain in my picture up here in the corner? Well, let's take a closer look at that storm drain. Storm drains collect rainwater runoff and direct it into our local streams and rivers. Maybe they look like a grate, like this, or they can even look like this that we see on the side of many roads. Now, when oil gets into Miranda's water, it can cause a lot of problems for Miranda. For instance, have you ever heard the term oil and water do not mix? What that means is that the oil can set on top of the water molecules, essentially blocking some of the oxygen that comes from the air into the water. Because, well, how do fish breathe? That's right. They have a body part called a gill that water passes through, and then the gill gets the oxygen out of the water. But if not as much oxygen can get into the water, That's a problem for Miranda the fish. Now let's take a look at that water. Is it starting to look a little bit more cloudy and less clean? I think so too. So what do you think Miranda should do? That's right, she's going to keep swimming downstream. And as she swims downstream, well, she passes a neighborhood, like maybe where me and you live. And this neighborhood, there is a neighbor preparing for oncoming spring by putting what we call fertilizer on the lawn. Now, fertilizer is like giving vitamins to plants. It helps the plants to grow nice and strong. However, the plants only need so much. So if we put too much fertilizer on our grass, say, in our lawn, and it's more than the plants need, the excess, the extra, sets on top. And again, just like the oil in the parking lot, when the rain comes down, it washes all of that fertilizer down our storm drains and into Miranda the fish's river or house. So now she has fertilizer in her water. Now, fertilizer can cause some problems in our water environment because just like it can help plants to bloom, this extra nutrients can also help algae to grow, and we can experience what's called an algae bloom. Algae, just like other living things, uses oxygen out of the water. And what happens is that when we get an algae bloom or lots of algae growth, as it dies off, it's using up all of the dissolved oxygen in the water. And guess what? There's not as much water left for our friend Miranda the fish. So do you think she should keep swimming? I think so too. So again, Miranda is going to keep swimming along her journey looking for nice, clean water. And as she continues to swim, well, this time she swims by a farm. And that farm has cows on it. Have you ever seen cows living out in a field or on a farm? Well, just like Miranda lives in the water and other things need water to drink, so do these cows. And if a stream runs through farmland, then the cows might be able to walk down to the stream and into the stream to get a drink. However, have you ever gone down and played in the stream, and when you're walking around in the mud and the muck, it kind of churns it into the water, gets a lot of soil into the water? Well, now imagine that you are a big 1,000-pound cow down there stomping in the creek bed. You're going to stir up a lot of soil that can get into Miranda's river. So now as we add some soil into her water, not only does it make it look quite dirty, but that soil is causing a big problem for fish like Miranda. Remember those gills we said they breathe through, that water has to pass through to get out the oxygen? Well, imagine that the fish is swimming in water full of mud and sediment and their gills get clogged. Can the water pass through? So can the fish breathe? Nope. So this is not a good environment for poor Miranda to be swimming in. So Miranda's going to keep swimming through this murky water, and she swims past another neighborhood. Now this time, there's a neighbor out washing their car in the driveway. And as they soap up their car and they hose it off, well, where does all that water go? That's right, down into our storm drains. Now, we might think, hey, soap cleans things. Maybe that soap can clean this dirty water for Miranda. Well, let's find out. If we add some soap to our stream here, and I mix it up, did it work? No. In fact, it's really hard to see Miranda in there. The soap is not going to clean the water. It's actually adding harmful chemicals that can again affect Miranda's scales, those body coverings, in a negative, harmful way. So poor Miranda does not look good. This isn't a good environment for her to live in. Now, the good news in our story is that if Miranda keeps on swimming downstream, she's going to swim into a nature preserve. That is a protected area that allows for that clean water in the area. So Miranda's going to be okay. But let's think about her journey. Did all of that pollution need to get into the water? No, it did not. In fact, let's think about the picnic at the park. I bet you can think of some things those people should have done differently, like throwing their trash in the trash can, or taking their recyclables, those cans and plastic bottles, and putting them in the recycling. Even better, they could have taken reusable dishes with them so there wasn't even trash made that they could then take home and leave the park nice and clean, therefore leaving the stream next to it nice and clean as well. Also, let's think about all those different things going down our storm drain. Did any of you notice this circle tag on the storm drain here? This is what we call a storm drain tag. Soil and water districts, like where I work, we help to put these storm drain tags on our storm drains. This one says no dumping drains to Clear Creek. Maybe one near your house might have the local stream on it too. It's to remind folks that everything that goes down that storm drain is not going to a water treatment plant to get cleaned out first. That water is going directly to Miranda's home. So there are little things that we can all do every day to help keep animals like Miranda the fish safe and to keep our water quality healthy. I hope you enjoy taking this journey with Miranda the fish and I. And remember that you can also help to protect our local streams and rivers.